Hi friends, and welcome to the Kids Drawing Channel. Today I'm going to be drawing a peacock. And peacocks are beautiful animals, and everybody knows they have a really skinny neck, but look how long that neck is, and the head actually is very small in proportion to the rest of the body. And they have these beautiful displays. The males have these beautiful displays. And we're going to do something a little bit different. I have done a drawing here, and I haven't finished the whole thing, but I'm just wanted to show you the drawing that we're going to be doing. We're going to start with the body, and then we're going to put those beautiful eyes. These are called eyes on the feathers of the peacocks, but we're going to start with the body, and that head is kind of small, and we're going to do a lot of curved lines and angle lines today. So I'm going to leave that right there so you guys can see it as we're drawing. And today, to draw this peacock, we're actually going to be using the 5 elements of shape, and they are a curved line, and some curved lines can be really curvy, but a curved line that goes in 2 directions, those are 2 different curved lines. So we're just talking about a gentle curved line or a real extreme curved line. And then we have straight lines, and everybody knows what a straight line is, but a straight line can actually be thick or thin. It depends on how your brain's going to register that. And then we have circles. And circles, most people try and say a circle is perfect, but a circle can be anything roundish and empty is a circle. That's how your brain's going to register the object. And today in this lesson, I'm doing some ovals. Those are still circles, but they're just elongated a little bit. If I were to draw a roundish object, a circle, and color it in, that turns it into a dot. So anything that is colored in, your brain's going to register that as a solid. This is something that's empty, and this is something that is filled in. And our last thing that we have are angle lines. And angle lines are anything that can come, a curved line that comes to a point and comes back. Usually if you do a check mark, people kind of register that. Or if you're going to do mountains or jagged teeth, those are angle lines. A line that bends so much, it comes to a point. So everything we draw today, we're going to be using those 5 elements of shape to do our drawing. And this is suitable for children probably 6 to 8, 6 to 9, depends on how much detail you put in the background. And this actually turns into a beautiful colored pencil lesson. So I would encourage you to do maybe some colored pencil with this illustration. And don't draw too big as we're drawing today. If you've drawn something, you can draw, if it comes out a little bit big, then everything's going to be big in the picture, and you probably won't have enough room to put many of the eyelets in or put or get the whole bird into your picture. So today, don't get frustrated. You can always start over and start the tape over, but we're going to start with this eye. And it is a circle. They have actually a really pretty eye. And I've got a little bit of white showing in the middle of that circle, so it's not a complete dot. I've colored it in, but I left a little bit, and that's to make our peacock look alive. So we're going to start. Now I've got my paper going in landscape mode here today. I'm going to start somewhere up here so I have room to put a little bit more of his body. Because this is a male, and I'm going to start with a small circle. Now you see I didn't make that too big. That's going to be his eye. So that's the start of my peacock. Everybody go ahead and put a circle in, and we're going to color it in, but we're going to leave a little bit of dot of white. We're not going to color it all in at the very top. So I like to start with the eyes because then he's looking at me as I'm actually doing the drawing today. And we're going to do a second circle really close to the first one. So do a second circle really close to that first one and bring it all the way around. And he's got a lot of markings around his eye. We're going to do another curve line that's going to go over his eye. This is very close to what we just did. So we have our dot with a little bit of white showing. We have a circle around it and a curve line. And now on the bottom part of this curve line, I'm going to start here at the tip. I'm going to bring it in again. I'm just going to follow that shape that we have, and I'm going to bring it to a point so it all comes to a point. And to make it look a little more real, I'm going to color this in. I'm using a black felt tip marker. The ones I like are by Paper Mate. You can use a Sharpie if you have a Sharpie, if you have the fine points. These are great because they don't smear. All right, so there's my eye. But peacocks have a lot of stripes and all that go right around their eyes. So I'm going to do a gentle curve line and just bring it up and have it touch and pretend it goes all the way through to the other side. And I'm going to swing it around and do a curve line. So it's really made a circle. It's kind of smushed. And I'm going to bring it back to the front here again. So it looks like it's one kind of doubled curve line that goes all the way through his eye. And I'm going to do a stripe underneath, the same kind of thing. I'm just going to do a curve line that's going to be close to that, and I'm going to double it. So I'm going to bend around that corner and bring it back. Almost looks like spaghetti or noodles around his eye, but those are just some of the markings around his eye that he's got. Now, a peacock doesn't have a huge top of his head, and he has a very short beak in relation to the rest of his body. So I'm going to go ahead and put that beak in here, and I'm going to start with a little tiny straight line right at the end of that little swiggly line that I had just done here. And I'm going to do a gentle curve line that comes out. Now, I'm not bringing it out too far. And he's got a little kind of bump on his beak, so I'm going to overlap here just a little bit and do just a little tiny curve line. It's just the most shallow curve line. And I'm going to bring it down just a bit, and that's going to be the point of my beak. So see how tiny I made that? I didn't make that huge. And then I'm going to do a curve line that comes all the way back, and it doesn't touch here, it comes down below. So I'm doing a gentle curve line that comes down underneath. And his little beak has a very narrow bottom beak. It's kind of sharp when his mouth is open, but I'm going to start here near the tip and bring it back. So it's just a little bit of a curve line, and I'm going to curve it up right at the very end to see how it overlaps just a little bit. And he's got a nostril that's kind of big. It almost looks like a triangle. So I'm going to put kind of an elongated triangle right in there, and I'm going to color it in. This is just a gentle curve line with a more pronounced curve line on top. Doesn't quite look like a peacock yet, but it will in just a minute, because I'm going to start not here at the edges of his beak. I'm going to come overlap again just a little bit, and I'm going to do a curve line. Now, I don't want to make it come up too high, but I'm going to have it actually come way over here, really close to this other line. So I put a little dot there to help me as I go up over his head. So I'm going to go over his head, bring it out to that spot there in the back. And then I'm going to curve it back around, and I'm going to make it pretty curvy, okay? Brought it all the way back. That's the back of his head. Now, underneath his beak, he's got some wrinkles here a little bit. I'm going to overlap a little bit, and I'm going to do a gentle curve line that comes back and stops. This is actually his whole head, and I'm going to give a little curve line here at the back because he does have some markings here on the back of his head, as we can see. And he's got some wrinkles down right underneath his chin, I guess the bottom of his head. So I did a little curve line right in there, and I'm going to bring it real close. And then I'm going to bring it out just a little bit more. Okay, do you see how narrow I made it here? Because he does have a pretty narrow neck. He also has kind of a crown on the top of his head. Now when I drew it here, I made it almost look like blueberries on the top of his head, but if we look at an actual picture, it looks like little fans. So on the top of his head, and you don't have to put it all the way here at the edge, bring it into his head a little bit. Give him some gentle curve lines off the top of his head. I put about 7 in there. And on the top of each one, I'm going to put a tight curve line, almost like a sideways C. And then I'm going to put a gentle curve line on top of that. This will actually look really pretty when you go to color it. It's going to give some nice definition. He also has a weird kind of area on the top of his head, so I'm going to put a gentle curve line here at the top. And if we look at our picture, the feathers just lay differently right in that area. So if you're coloring this, you might use a shade lighter for this area right on the top of his head. It'll help make it look like light is hitting it as well. So we've got our gentle curve line coming around here. So let's do his body. This is going to look a little bit strange because he does have kind of a bigger chest, and mine is probably going to go off the page in the second one. So I'm going to curve it down a little bit and bring it back out. and back. So I've got one gentle curve line here, goes in just a little bit, and then comes back out. In some countries of the world, they like to eat peacock. I've never had peacock. I would imagine that's kind of different. And just kind of like a turkey, he's going to have some ridges here on his chest. So I'm just going to put some little just marks here to keep me going. And we're going to do his wings. Now his wings and this tufted area that he's got right behind it on his back before his feathers really take out are really beautiful. Okay, so we're going to do a curve line that's going to come over here to the side, and then we're going to do a series of curve lines that kind of come down. They're going to go off to the side just a bit and stop. So I've brought it all the way down here. I'm just doing some curved lines. It's going to give that feel that we've got some movement on his wings. And I'm going to come back up to his neck, and I'm going to do a gentle curve line. This one's not so wiggly. It's going to curve out just a little bit, curve back down towards the body, and back out, and stop. So that's one of his wings, part of his body here. I'm going to do a straight line coming back, and an overlap that's going to come down and back. And that's kind of his wing on this side. And to balance, I'm going to do a little gentle curve line on this other side. And that's going to come over here on this side. I didn't make it come out as far as I did on this side because I've actually turned him a little bit more in this drawing than I did in this one. And I don't really have room to put his legs, but I'm just going to put a gentle curve line to show that his leg is going to start there. And I can maybe have it here at the other side. So that's kind of my body, but now I want to put in this beautiful layering of feathers here in the back. And I've drawn this with a bunch of really tight curved lines coming down, almost like a bunch of coins sitting on top of each other. I'm going to start here just layering it up just a little bit, and I'm going to do a series of curved lines, very tight curvy lines, wavy lines coming down. I'm going to bring them down to the side. Same thing on this other side. I'm going to pretend this line goes all the way through his neck. Start on the other side and do some very curvy lines. I'm going to bring it all the way down to about the same spot on his body so that these are about the same. So I've got this curvy area, and those are kind of that coin area. So you can do overlapping circles, or you can do a series of curve lines. Now when I do these curve lines, do one individual. It looks so much better if you do it individual rather than doing something like this, okay? So pick your pen up each time and overlap those pieces. So I'm going to start here at the top and just do a series of little curve lines, trying to keep them about the same size. You could even do some more detail on some of these to make them look more real. If I look at my reference photo, he's got little straight lines in between. So if I put a little tiny straight line at the base of each one of those, it looks a little more real. Okay, so you're going to be doing this for a while and putting those in all the way down. And they seem to go more up and down this direction, so try not to get them too turned around in your drawing, but it's okay if you do. As artists, you know, we don't like everything we draw, but we like most of what we draw. And if there's something you don't like, we can always look at it and find a way to maybe change it up or put something in front of that area you don't like. Okay, so you're going to do this all the way on each side here. These little tiny curve lines. If you draw this with pencil, you could just draw a very relaxed border here and then erase it so that your circles come all the way out. Looks like a series of circles that come all the way out to the side. Okay, so I'm doing a bunch of these. I'm just going to start one side. And then I have to put those little dashes into each one. all that detail will make a difference. And it would be beautiful if you had some like kind of a coppery yellow or bronzy kind of color that you can put in here, because it's going to really pop against the beautiful peacock blue color that is shown on your peacock. And peacocks have a little bit of black on their face, so there's a little bit of black here, black around their eyes. Do their eyes actually, if you're using pencils, do it in a dark brown rather than black. It's going to make it look a little more real. Okay, so now we have our peacock body, but we're going to do all these beautiful eyelet pieces that are there. So I'm going to start, and it's important that we want to have them going out in an array like a fan kind of look that way. So the direction, and this is how we start, do an oval and an oval. These are all circles, smush circles. I'm doing them all about the same size, but I want them to have some space in between. I don't want them to be exactly in the same spot. So you get the idea. I'm just making these go in patterns. Okay, start putting your circles and take your time, don't hurry. These are all about the same size. So you see I'm really putting some interesting things to complete this composition. It's going to allow the eye to really travel around the page. Okay, so you kind of get the idea. You can fill up the whole page. Now with each one of these circles, I'll show you on this extra piece of paper, each one of these, you're going to put a circle in the bottom. Above that, you're going to do some tight little angle lines, bringing it across. Okay, so we have a little circle in the bottom of each one, and this little ridge of dark color. You're going to do that each one. I'm not going to do all of them here, but you kind of get the idea. Okay. And on the top here, you're going to put curved lines that kind of arch towards each other. Okay, you're going to put a series of little curved lines. These are part of the leather, the filament of that feather. So you're going to put these little tiny marks and put at least 4 on the top of each one. Okay, next you're going to put a straight line at the base, a straight line at the base of each one, and you want to make it kind of thick. They don't all have to be thick, but every now and then make some of them thick. Okay, as you're going through. And then our final piece are these curved lines, these great big curved lines, almost looks like a spider. There's 3 on each side. Curve it around, bend it around that oval that you just drew on each one. This is going to make it look more realistic. This is a little bit of an abstract version of a peacock, but actually I think it looks fabulous. Okay, so take your time. I would maybe do a very light green, a complementary green, a very light, cool green here in the background, and to go with this peacock blue. And you know, he's got a little bit of kind of this neutral tan, so if you want to put some of that in there too, you could do that, but you want to see some really bold colors in this middle area. So the center is going to be a little bit of that beautiful peacock blue. You can use some gold or copper around it with some brilliant emerald green. And though that is my peacock drawing for kids, 6 to 8. And if you're older, you're going to put more detail in it, maybe put something even more in the background. But I hope you enjoy drawing with me today. If you like the lesson, subscribe to my website, kidsdrawingchannel.com. Thanks again. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.